So the next wine up we've got for you is the Winemakers Select Bin White. You can see on our labels now we're starting to actually label the varieties that are inside of our blends. A lot of you have been asking and really wanted to see that, so we decided to do exactly what you wanted and give you some of that, a little bit more information on there. So this is also coming from the 2011 vintage. This is for all of you that have the white wine only selection or the Winemaker Select. You're getting both reds and whites. It's the first time that we've released a white wine Winemaker Select, and we're really kind of excited about it. You know, in going around the cellar this year, we had to have a different philosophy, had to have a different thought. We're not making our single vineyard wines from 2011 because they just weren't expressive of their individual sites, but there were certain lots that came in that, sometimes we hadn't used them before, or, that just had different characteristics, but still outrageous and delicious. In this particular case, we had a new vineyard that we were working with that was down near Norfolk almost. It's down the Hampton Roads area. So it was a really neat spot for getting a Chardonnay from. It was the earliest harvest because it is further south, so it's a little bit hotter, sandier soil, so good drainage. And when this fruit came in, at first I was skeptical, but the flavors that came out during fermentation were just absolutely exciting. We took a different style on winemaking with this as well, with the Chardonnay portion, which is 50% of this bottling. It was done in stainless steel, so trying to keep that cool fermentation, but then because of that bright acidity, in which is the nature of the vintage, we actually did put it through malolactic, which is unusual for us. So stainless steel and malolactic, so it has some of that buttery softness, but it is still all about the fruit that's in there as well. And we blended with 25% Viognier from Williams Gap, that face it's sloped out near Round Hill, that gets very ripe, exotic style Viognier, but it tend to be a little bit leaner and fresher in 2011. As we tasted out of the bottle of Viognier, I mean, it has that grassy, citrusy component to it. And then really the star variety of the vintage was Petit Manseng. Petit Manseng, it naturally has very high sugars and naturally has very high acidity, so that brightness, it came through beautifully in 2011, but also because the sugars traditionally are so high, we can't really accentuate the Petit Manseng as much. I mean, it's generally a blending variety because the alcohol levels get so high, but in this particular vintage, we were able to ferment them dry and really get some very elegant, beautiful wines. So 25% of this is also Petit Manseng. That portion did spend some time in barrel. Only a couple of months, but in newer oak. It comes from Windhorn Vineyards out in Waterford, so a nice local vineyard to us. So the blend of 50% Chardonnay, 25% each Viognier, Petit Manseng. I mean, I get loads of aromatics of almost like salted butter characteristics, baked apple. There's almost some peach-like notes to it and a little pineapple. It is actually very complex wine that was all about really trying to understand what we had within the cellar in this vintage, as opposed to saying, well, this is our Huntley, or this is our Nevaeh, and this, that, and the other thing. It was just this blank slate with all of these different potential grapes that came in, or wines that we had created to put together and just make something delicious. So as I said, those lovely aromatics, very intense, very rich style wine. On the palate, this is one of the more fun wines that we've made. It has that roundness to it that you would expect from some Chardonnays, and fabulous balance, has good acidity that's going to hold it. It's also going to help it pair well with a lot of food. It's the type of wine that can be enjoyed at any time. You are going to love bringing this out to your company and saying, check out this really neat eclectic wine. And you're also going to love just sipping on this on that day after a horrible or long day at work, when you just need a glass of wine that's going to make you feel good. It also does that. It has brilliant fruit that makes you just want to love this wine, but it also has that complexity and that intrigue that makes you want to give it to company. It is such an interesting bottle. I wish we had made a lot more of it, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and this is a wine that's made for you guys as the Wine Club members. We're very excited to showcase it to you. Salud.